For me, as a potter who has always thought that Hamad Soji was the greatest potter of the 20th century, for me to come to Mashko and have an exhibition here is very important to me. Thank you.
Phil is one of a younger generation of potters who have been re-exploring really the territory first touched on by Bernard Leach. And Phil is certainly one of the leaders of the present generation of potters exploring this area.
Phil brings to the experience, one, his ability to communicate so competently about the work itself and about the passion that he brings to it, that it is infectious. But beyond that, there's a kind of process of introducing people to the joy of clay. And he's done that in such a spectacular way, and the work reflects it, as does the response in our gallery.
I have more pots by Phil, I think, than any other potter in my collection, and I wonder why that is. I think a very consummate professional maker.
I love his pots. I think his pots are second to none in this country now. I think he's one of the great English potters of all time, let alone the present day, and they're superbly made, wonderfully coloured, and the firing is terrific. His shapes are absolutely beautiful. They just want to be picked up and loved, the pots, and they spark to me of the past, but also of the present day, and I love them. England has been slow in recognising the craft of a great potter. It ought to be up at the top like in Japan, but there they revere pots and potters, and they have for generations.
Ken believes that firing for a long time, 7 days and 7 nights, is the way that he wants to work. It produces the sort of glazes and the sort of effects that he likes. You get a lot of ash from the wood, which lands on the pots and makes glaze, but also the glazes that he puts on the pots in the kiln. They need a very long firing to get the best surfaces and the best colours.
I'm just making a little cup. It's a shape that I make quite a lot of. Decorate them in different ways with different glazes and so on. The basic underlying shape is a kind of variation on a theme, really. It has a central ridge, but within that scheme there's lots of variations that I do with the angle of the wall and the way that the lines come into the ridge and out of the ridge. Sometimes it's wasted, sometimes it's swollen, sometimes it's straight, some just tapered, and I kind of have a basic idea of a central theme and then kind of play around with it and end up with maybe 20 or 30 variations on a theme.
This kind of glaze is called Shino. It's a Japanese glaze made almost wholly from feldspar. And it's completely new territory for me. With all my potting life, I've concentrated on sort of ash glazing, used glazes with wood ash, or salt glazing. So this kind of glaze is a complete big learning curve. I'm not even sure how thick to apply it, or any of it really. It's all a question of finding out. It's going okay. It's a little bit slow, but then it's a big kiln and it's lots of brick to heat up. So I think, you know, we just have to keep persevering with it. It's over 1,000 on the pyrometer, which means that in fact inside the kiln it's probably a little more than that. Yeah, it's okay. We'll hopefully be around about 1150 to 1200 by the morning, I would think. Right, time to see what we've got. This moment is always one of sort of anxiety because, you know, half an hour from now I'll either be depressed or elated, who knows. Could go either way.